Welcome in everyone to a new series here on Grandpa's Farm. This series is based in the 1980s. It's based on real-life equipment that was used on my grandpa's real-life farm in northern Missouri. I'm really excited about this new series. I hope you enjoy watching it as much as I'm going to enjoy making it. Let's get started.
Welcome to the 1980s in a rural farm in northern Missouri. Grandpa's Farm.
We're going to start by giving a quick little tour. This is the double wide the family lives in. Grandma's garden out to the side with a little pond. Now this land's been kind of let down over the years, and we're going to turn this, what used to be a field over here, back into a field. That's one of the projects we're going to be working on. Up here is the cattle operation. We're going to have to work our way up to having cattle. Where all that overgrowth is across the road, we're going to mow that first so we can get some hay for the cattle. And out back we have an old barn. This is the stuff we're starting with. All I have is this old Ford, $20,000 in the bank. But we do have Minneapolis Moline equipment, an old sickle mower. Now this baler is not what we would have had in the 80s. It was the closest thing I could find to what real life equipment was. And we have a Deutz. The Deutz tractors actually came in the late 80s, early 90s. A 13-06 is what we had on the farm. This was an Oliver tractor that was used on the farm. Did most of the planting work. Now this is a white 2110. On the real farm it was a white 2105, which was not available in the mod hub. And then the Kinsey planter actually did not come around till the 90s either, but it's going to be what we use because it was all white farm equipment back then, and I couldn't find a white planter to use. So let's get started by tilling up. Actually, we're going to mow up the field across the road. So let's grab a tractor and get going. I'm really glad the times have changed, advanced past the sickle mowers. A little bit slow with the job. Not very big either. But they were easy to keep up. Easy to fix. Lot over here. Two different real life farm was mostly bottom ground. Brick. And some hook sliders. I'll get this mowed up. Just so you know how long it's been since this has been a field, we actually have a tree that's grown up in it. One of these days we're going to have to come back here and cut this tree down. Got to change a few few teeth on this mower with all the brush we've been cutting through. It's mowing up nicely. Not much left. Last little bit, and we'll head back to the house. And hopefully by morning, this will be dried up enough we can get it baled up into hay. I'll make quite a few bales. I mean, it's not really a hay field. Not fertilized or anything. This will produce something. Something for Grandpa's farm. Oh, tractor and mower put away. We'll go in and call it a night. Do it for now. I'm going to go ahead and sleep till morning. See if the grass dries. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's all dried up nicely. Should be able to get the rake out and get this thing raked up. Grab the little Moline and do it. Love the way this tractor sounds. It'll take a little while, but I think we'll rake the rows together. We'll not have to go around as many times failing. Love some of the simplified equipment. It does look nice. Get to rake. Got the raking just about wrapped up with this little Minneapolis Moline. Kind of a slow process. Doesn't even make the prettiest windrows. Decided just to rake 2 rows to the middle. Make the baling process go a little quicker. Last little bit here. If you've ever driven a Minneapolis Moline tractor, sure, put something in the comments about what tractor, what model, or maybe it was a combine. They make some nice combines, or they did make nice combines at one point. I did rake with a little tractor like this, but I don't know if this was the model. What model it was. Extra heavy, there are about 3 rows raked together. Let's take them over to the barn and pick up the baler. It does sound nice. take the white out today. The little case round baler. I like to do little square bales, but they're going to take a long time. Go. Baler only makes the small round bales. I think we are going to have a lot of hay coming up. Season. Continue on. Just another bale or two and we'll have this all wrapped up. Now our pickup wagon we have, it's kind of a, it's definitely not an auto loader. We have to line up 4 bales in a row and then back under this set of bales. As soon as we get this done, I'll start lining up 4 to a bundle. We're gonna have over 60 bales here though. We'll leave half the bales out here on the other side of the field. I think we're only going to use half of this ground for our corn. There's all of our bales. Our baler put away here. Up to our bale wagon. You see that next to the building. The actual style that my grandpa had, the only thing different is he didn't have the frame on top. It was more of a just low to the ground. I don't think you had to line them all up first. Oop, maybe not. Oh, held on for a little while. Nothing to see here. There it is. There. That looks a little more level. Cutting them in rows of 4. See if we can make it work right. perfect of a row as they need to be. Me personally, I'd rather just have a bale fork in front and a bale fork on the 3-point. Do it that way. Especially since we're only going across the drive. Not like we even have far. Get done testing out this wagon, we might actually. Yeah, there's 4. Go of it. That's 4. Back to our wagon. Make it work. Turn on my sheet window here. Know what control will do. Lowers the front. How to lower the. There it is. Drop it on the ground. Seems to push. I need to raise the front. There. That's better. Go, come on. Come on. There. And there it is. Actually, it looks like you can get a 5th bale on there. This is only a 4-bale trailer, but 5th would work. Just gotta figure out where we want to put them. Back around the building. Easily access that. Not too close so the cattle can put their head through. There. Alright, well, we'll get some more. Well, that should be enough bales over here for now. Just lower this down and leave it over here. Alright. Now go grab a plow. We'll use the Deutz tractor to do that. Definitely have enough horsepower. Kind of a small field cultivator plow anyhow. width is our planter. Weight? Well, this has a weight. Still kind of wobbly. Here we go. We're going to go just over to the tree line. Stay on this side of the tree. That'll be your deciding factor on how big to go. I'll hurry and get this plowed up. Well, there, we got our first part of the field all filled up. We'll make a good cornfield. Finally got this piece of land back to the way it used to be in row crops. But hey, we were able to get some good hay off of it too. It's been in CRP long enough. Today we've got to get the soil ready. We're going to run up to the co-op and get some lime. I've looked and it looks like we can get some lime in these wagons here. And just dump it in the corner of our field, load it up into our fertilizer cart. And then we'll spread that lime and then get to planting. Up the road in town here is where we should be able to pick up some lime. Here's the little town close by. I believe right up next to this truck is where we can buy some lime and fertilizer. Lime, perfect. We only have around $20,000 available, so hopefully this doesn't set us back too much. Not sure how much lime that field's going to need, but we'll fill them both up because we always have that other part of the ground there that's still in hay that we could fertilize, or not fertilize, but lime in the future. Oh yeah, $1,500 a wagon, that's not much. Not bad at all. Not sure what that would have cost back in the 80s, but today's price, that's what they're charging us. Alright, let's get this back to the house. Alright, let's see if we can dump this out. There we go. Just pour it on the ground here, and then we'll bring the fertilizer truck over. I'm not sure if we could actually put any of this in our bin or not. Maybe we'll try that with the second trailer. In real life, this line would never come out of one of these gravity flow wagons. I had enough trouble getting corn to come out of them. Once they get so old, they're not very slick anymore on the inside. There we go, one down. Just see real quick if we can put it in. Oh, have to get a tractor to get us over that little pile of lime. Let's drop that. See how we can do with just one of the wagons. Let's see if we can dump the other one in the bin. Yeah, we'll dump here. While that's doing that, we will try to get our pickup off the lime pile. There. This wagon out of the way, then we'll grab the 2110 fertilizer spreader and get it loaded up. I'm not sure when Wilmar came out and was available as a fertilizer spreader. But I do know when we would rent them from MFA, this is what you would get. Look just like these. Some did have a gas engine on the front, but most of them were all PTO driven. See how many liters these wagons hold. I think it'll actually fill up pretty quick. But I'll finish filling it, and then we'll start spreading. Well, that's almost full. Enough to get started. One thing we've learned with lime, don't use auger wagons. And if you're going to use auger wagons, cheat by putting them in your bin. Alright, here we go. This tractor has the power to go. It should. Ooh, that's a pretty wide spread. It's a pretty good spread for lime. Won't take too awful long to get all the way around this. We're going through it pretty quick, so I think we would need 2 wagonfuls. If not for this one, for the other half of the field whenever we plow it up. I don't think we can plant our corn until tomorrow. We're still in March and we're using 2-day months. We'll finish spreading this lime and then get a planter hooked up and start getting it ready. If you know of any implements that you've seen in Farming Simulator that are based better in the 80s than say this fertilizer cart here, leave that in the comments and I'd be more than happy to add one in. Because I know not all of our implements are based on the right time period. I really struggled finding some older implements to pull. The tractors were, real life tractors that we had. Some of these implements weren't necessarily based in the 80s. Now we're going to use up most of this wagon full. Which is good because we're also going to need this wagon for fertilizer. Still have a little bit of a pile over in the corner of the field. There we go. Catch that little bit there on our way. There we go. I think there's a little stretch up here I might have missed. There. This wagon right here. Put the Oliver up to our Kinsey planter here. Then I'm going to run the pickup to town and get a pallet of seed. Oop, way off. Way off. Here we are. Oh. Here in the, actually, I think we'll just take it over to the field. Be a lot easier to put bags of seed in it over there. Cart's all opened up. All right, let's head to town. This wagon off the trail here so we can get around easier. Run into town. I think we'll just pick up one bag of, or one pallet of seed first. Hopefully it'll be enough. Well, it cost us $950 for this pallet of seed, which is cheap compared to today's standards. I think we'll be all ready to plant in the morning, weather permitting. I haven't even checked the forecast. But remember, it's the 1980s. Was the forecast any worse than it is now? Strapped. Hop back in the tractor. There we go. Fill it up. This one looks like they took all the seed. 86% full. It's pretty close. Pretty good. Find the right button to close them. Well, now we'll be ready for in the morning. I think we've got everything else done. Go back to the house, call it a day, get up in the morning and go back to work. Typical farming life, except for you want to be done at 11 o'clock in the morning. Well, here we are, the first day of April. Partly cloudy skies. Everything else good enough to start our corn planting. Right here, I think good enough place as any. Get started. Get the right button to put the markers down. So we don't have GPS back these days. Do it the hard way. This is actually the type of tractor my grandpa used to do all the planting back in the 80s. Like I said, not positive if this was the model number of Oliver, but it is the same design and style. It would have been a white air planter. I'll finish getting this seeded up and maybe we can get some fertilizer put on it today. We're wrapping the cornfield up here. Just a little stretch at the other end of the field to catch. first cornfield of the year in. You still have the south place to figure out what we're going to do down there. When we get this done, we'll take a quick spin down there and show you it. Tell me what you think we should do. Got a lot of open ground. It's the new purchase on the farm. We'll park this and then we'll grab the pickup. Run down there. Check it out. Still a bunch of lime left. Got a lot more lime than we needed. In the pickup here, we can go down to the south place. We actually have a drive through our property to get back down there. A lot easier than taking the road. Dirt trail. Have to go through the creek. As long as the creek's not too high. There we go, not too bad. This is what we call the south place. Got all this open land here. We could till up, turn it into more row crop. Actually, on the other side of these trees, it continues on. All this open area is also part of the south place. Plenty of ground. We could turn some of it into a pasture. Make a hay field down here or just more row crop. If you leave a message in the comments, let me know what you think we should do. This here is the south place. I just got off the rotary phone with Grandpa and he's told me to go down to the shop and he's got something for me to check out. So let's get down there. Grandpa said he had made a new purchase for me to go use. So we're going to be going down to the south place today to get it tilled up and ready to add more row crop to our farm. He wants to do some soybeans this year. So I thought, well, we've used the ground we have tilled up now for corn, so let's tear up some more land. So that's what we're going to be doing. He said this would be something I'd really like, so let's see what it is. Oh yes. Much larger Oliver tractor. Yes, this is like what we actually had on the farm. We had one of these, and we also had a Plainsman, which would have been made by White Minneapolis Moline. Yes, let's get this fired up, and he got us a new cultivator also, something a little bit bigger. So we'll hook this all together and get down there. This will make tilling up the south place go a lot faster, a lot more productive. And running our little, cultivator was nice, our little plow, but this is going to do about twice the size. With more horsepower, it should go a lot quicker. So let's get this back to the house. Since our last episode, we did put in a bridge on the trail to the south place to make it a little easier to get the equipment across. It's just a little wooden bridge, but it'll sure help. It's going to be a little tight. Hopefully we won't have any tree issues since our implement's a little wider. As you can see up here, we have a new wooden bridge. Fits across it easily. Just gotta figure out where we want to start tearing up the ground at. Get that tree cultivator. Alright. This looks like a good place of any. Alright, let's get started. This tractor has enough power to pull it. I did not get the turbo on it. Don't remember if Grandpa's tractor had a turbo or not. You know, I was told growing up by Dad that it had about the same horsepower as the 418. So I believe this one was 169 horsepower. I would think it probably didn't have the turbo because the turbo put this thing at 200 horsepower. Up a little bit better over here. Get plenty of land to work with. We'll get some of this tilled up and get back with you just a little bit. So the story of this tractor was it had completely burnt up at some point. I don't know if Grandpa had it at the time or not, but it was reconditioned, repainted, new engine put in, all the work done, but the windows no longer opened. So it was a very hot tractor to drive because you really couldn't ventilate it. So what you'd always do, you'd leave a door open or take the door off. A lot of times this tractor did not have a door on. That is how we kept cool. No door. Well, we've got the perimeter of the field finished up. Now we just got to get the rest of it tilled. And then we'll head back to the house and start getting ready for next month's seeding of the soybeans. We also would like to get some cattle in the cattle barn before summer hits. We're gonna get some loose ends wrapped up and make this farm a full operation, just like it would have been in the 80s. Well, we pretty much have the new soybean field wrapped up. This tractor does go through a lot of fuel. I mean, burnt about half a tank already just doing this one field. It's a slow go, but you know, it does a good job. And it looks nice doing it. A couple more passes. We'll have to get some lime spread on this field before we plant it. Make it get a good yield this year. Now, if you've ever farmed in real life, what's your go-to tractor when it comes to disking or cultivating a field? To me, this is one of the easiest ones for me to use when I was a kid. I mean, the transmission in it was just a straight transmission. I think just 5 gears, I believe. Could have been 6. Really simple to use. Get this back to the house. Go to bed and come out and spread some lime in the morning. Well, here we are, another beautiful April morning. Now we gotta get some lime spread. Let's grab the white. run over across the road where our pile of lime is, and fill that up and run it back there. So we can plant our soybeans today. Let's try to get the rest of this lime that we had left over that we dumped on the ground. The rest of that scooped up and dumped in our cart. We still have a full gravity wagon load of lime in the bin. Oh, look at that. I think I just poured some on the ground. Not bad. We'll get the rest of this filled up, then we'll head over to the field. Well, we only have 54% full, but hopefully that'll be enough to finish that field off. We don't have to run back and get any more. Alright, let's get to spreading lime. Forgot how wide of a pass this will go. Better get moving. We're going to run out. We do have plenty of land left out here that we could do some more hay on if we need to. A lot of flat pasture ground or hay ground over there. Won't be seeded in grass, but it'll still work. You can mow that up, clean up all those bushes. It's nice that you can mow up the bushes and remove them and still get hay out of it. Yeah, we clearly are not going to have enough to finish this without having to go get more. Be able to make one headland around it. Shut that off. Go fill it back up. I only grabbed a partial load because I wanted to make sure I use it all up. So I want to use this same cart for the fertilizer. I really don't have any place to empty this out. Here, just get enough to, if this isn't enough to finish the field, it's just lime. It's no big deal. It won't be enough to really matter on the harvest. Fertilizer is going to be a lot more important. Fertilizer might be more important, but you know, this is a new field, so I would like to get it limed as good as possible. It's a little weird how there's a few weeds. You know, we disc this whole field up, and yet still weeds stayed through. It's like the disc would not get through everything. Not sure if there's a certain weed or a certain bush out here that just can't remove. Hopefully when we seed it, it'll go away. If not with the seeder, maybe with some herbicide. Yeah, we're gonna have just a little bit of the field left back over there that we're not gonna get limed. But most of it's gonna be finished. I'm pretty sure there's not gonna be enough to get back. Yep. Not quite. Oh well. Close enough. Now we'll get some seed in the field. As you may remember, the only crops we planted on the family farm was soybeans, corn, and occasionally winter wheat. So that is currently all we're going to do on this family farm of the 1980s. We're really going to have to get something to wash the tractors and planters off. They're becoming pretty filthy. Look like pretty nice equipment when they're new. They get old quick, dirty quick. Just look down and realize the planter is almost empty, so we're going to have to run back to the store and buy another pallet of soybean seed. Kind of love this old Ford pickup. Kind of classic today. It's kind of the thing to drive back in its time. Sounds good too. Hear that roar of the engine. It's my turn somewhere out here. There it is. Back down the drive here. It's a lot nicer with this bridge in. We saw in our first episode where we came back here and it was just a water crossing. That bridge was even wide enough to get the big equipment across. Alright, filled with beans. Almost filled. Pickup out of the way here so we don't hit it. Start planting. Well, see you when we get it finished. Well, it looks like we are extremely low on fuel. We're gonna have to stop real quick and run to the house and refill this tractor, or it leaves us stranded. I don't have any gas cans. Stop it real quick here. Hook it. Run to the house. These older tractors do seem like they go through fuel a lot faster. It is filthy. It looks like we're gonna make it without running out. There. Now we got a full tank. Back to work. Will it get rid of the weeds? Yes it will. Well, this is the last of the bean field. Soybeans all planted, and all we gotta do is throw on some fertilizer, and the south place will be wrapped up for the spring. Just wait for it to grow. Let's run this tractor back to the house. We'll come back, grab the pickup, and pick the fertilizer cart to town and fill her up. Before I go to town, I'm going to have to at least go to the garden hose and rinse this thing off. It's too filthy. Make it look a little better since we're done with it. It's going to look so much nicer now. Clean off our Kinsey planter also. Yeah, it's real filthy. It might take a little bit of water to get it off. See our warning triangle again. There we go. Park this. Hop in the pickup. We did use the pickup occasionally to haul fertilizer, but it was a 1-ton pickup and not a little half-ton like this one. This one would kind of have a little hard time with all the weight once it was loaded. Should be able to buy it right up from this guy. Oop, that's lime. It says it right here. There. Now we will carefully try to get this load back to the house, and we'll hook it up to the Deutz tractor and have the Deutz do all the spreading of the fertilizer. Alright, here we are. Got the Deutz and our fertilizer back in the back field. They're spread. Enough weight in this cart that takes probably a little bit out of this tractor even. This is one of our bigger ones. Like the same spread as the lime was on this. Looks like we're going through fertilizer near as fast as we went through lime though. Definitely have enough to do this field and the cornfield. We just came from the livestock auction and we purchased 12 head of cattle in here. They're actually heifers. So we're going to get them put in our barn and raise them for a little while and then put in. The Missouri farm actually started off as an animal production location. All the row crop was actually done in Iowa, came down to Missouri, and the bulk of the work was actually to raise livestock. Of course, later on that did turn into about 50-50 livestock and row crops in Missouri. Let's get these offloaded. There we go. The gate closed. Maybe here. There we go. Climb over the gate. Alright, well we got 12 head in there. Now we just need to get them some hay. Grabbed our fork. Now we can go over and grab some bale of hay for them. Thankfully we already have water running in the barn. We don't have to worry about water. We did go over and fertilize the cornfield this morning. I drove back to the south place earlier and I see there's quite a bit of weeds in the bean field. So we're going to have to get a little sprayer and go spray it later. I definitely don't want to have to deal with weeds. Okay, first bale in. Oh, here they come running. Guess they were hungry after that ride in. Here comes some more. Little white tractor's kind of handy. Kind of have it for our do everything list. Doesn't have quite the horsepower to do some of the work, but do most of it. There. That should keep them fed for a while. Is it good? Would you like more? No more? Yeah, this is what I was talking about having a bunch of weeds out here. I'll go to the house, call up the implement dealer and see if he knows of any used sprayer around we could purchase. Maybe give Grandpa a call and see if he wants to buy it. Let's get to the house and make a phone call. Well, I just got off the phone with Grandpa, and he says he's got a sprayer for me up at the implement dealer. So we're going to run up there and pick it up. He says it's just a small John Deere. John Deere was something we did not have much of on the farm. It was something nobody really cared for. But you know what? It was cheap. This sprayer, that is, was cheap, so we're going to go use it. Grandpa actually had a sprayer on the farm that was a self-propelled sprayer. The only thing is, it was an open cab. So when you're spraying, you're going to get some of the chemical on you. I know the last time I sprayed with a self-propelled sprayer that if you didn't have the door latched the alarm would be going off, because it wanted to filter all the air through its onboard filters. So times have definitely changed since the 80s. I think it seems like today is a lot more comfortable. Air conditioning, closed cabs, cleaner air. A lot of the chemicals are still the same though. Of course now there's more Roundup. Yeah, there it is. Hopefully we brought the right hitch for it. Be kind of a little sprayer, but hooks up just fine. I think we'll probably hook it up to the Minneapolis Moline. Right now I actually need to figure out if there's a place in town I can buy some chemical for it. So let's go find some. Let's find a place. Buy some fertile or some liquid herbicide. Here we go. Now we can go to the farm and start spraying. Hook this little guy up to it. Oh, maybe it won't hook up. We might not be able to use this tractor. You know what? Does this not have hydraulics? It's got hydraulics there, but it won't hook up. So then, it's like the Oliver it is. That's okay. There's other choices. It's a little bit bigger than we need for this little sprayer, but I just didn't want to walk over and grab the white. Right, let's run this thing down to the south place. Another option is to cultivate the weeds out, which this game calls that weeding with a weeder. There we go. Spray the weeds. Not sure how far 1,000 liters will go. We'll get it done. At least it's not too windy today, or chemical will be blowing all over the place. See, the other field we used a plow, and it kind of got rid of the weeds. This one, the weeds are coming up because all we used was that field cultivator. Did a good job, but apparently it didn't do as good on the weeds. Also thinking about getting back here and trying to mow some more of this up to make some more hay bales. Not sure how much hay will go through this year and this winter. We still have plenty of hay out front that we haven't even picked up out of the field. So that's probably a more important thing, is to get the hay off it. So, but I'll get this sprayed up and see you in a little bit. Just getting this last little bit here on the end that we might have missed. Turning around, and this field will be weeded. I got a little bit right here that I missed. Started getting out on the trees and had trouble turning around. But that's okay. Hopefully we get most of the weeds at least out of here. Hopefully we won't have to respray. Because next time around the crops will be up enough, we'll probably do more damage than good. Alright, well that should do it for this field. Let's put away and call it a day and start back in the morning. Well, here we are in July already. Corn's coming up good. Beans are looking good. Grandpa's helping me out by getting me a new hay trailer. haul a lot more hay with this one. A lot easier. Very thankful for that. Now that we got cattle, we gotta try to get the hay off that back field so we can mow it again, make more hay. Then a little later today, we gotta run to the neighbor's house. He's got some bulls for us to check out. We're gonna run over there and see if he's got a bull that'll work for our heifers. So I'll get these bales of hay off and get the rest hauled over. Well, this is the last of the bales. Get it thrown on here. I'll take the rest of these to the cattle also. Let's get rid of this. There we go. Cattle are fed. Let's run over to the neighbor's house and look at those bulls he has for sale. On the farm growing up, we really did have a neighbor that sold bulls. And we did buy some bulls from him. It's kind of convenient that he was so close. A lot of times he would actually deliver them himself, though. Today, we're going to his place to pick him up, or pick one up. Let's see what he has. Alright, looks like some good head here. A brown one here. Hopefully it's safe to be in this pen. Brown would be a good one for us. Another one kind of matches the herd we already have. Brown Swiss is what we're currently raising. So we'll find a bull. This bull loaded up. Alright, it's Brown Swiss. Move it to the trailer. Oh, now it's ours. Go drop this off at the house. Offload them into our pen. Should be out here somewhere now. Keep shaking your head. No, I know he's here somewhere. There he is. Laying down. Well, at least he's here. I just got word from Grandpa that he does have a combine type item for us to go check out that's in the barn out back. So let's go grab it and see what it is. Oh, so this is what he was talking about? This doesn't look like something we really want to use. So it's going to take a long time to do all that corn. Well, let's grab a tractor and see if we can make it work. Not sure how this thing was ever put in the barn. Obviously, it's been here a long time. Weeds and bushes have grown all the way around it. Get it out of here, we might be able to use it. Alright, we're out. Let's hook up to one of our gravity flows. See how this thing's going to work. Never used one of these before. On the real farm, the only thing we actually would have used would have been a Oliver or White combine in the 80s. We wouldn't have had one quite like this. Now we did have choppers like this for corn silage, but never any combine like this. Ran over a little bit there. There it goes. It does run after all these years. And just try to do it without running over any with the tractor. There's a full 4 miles per hour. So it's going to take quite a bit of time. We're still going to have a combine. Oh, there, now it's going 6. We're still going to need a combine for the bean field. So maybe we can talk Grandpa into getting us a combine so we don't have to sit here and use this 2-row all day long. We only got 200 liters in the wagon so far. Yeah, that'll take a while. Plus I keep running over part of the crops. So, but we'll get some of this done up and come back with you in a little bit. Well, I'm not just sure what happened. We got just this little bit of distance here and it has quit. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to combine anymore. It's on, it's just not taking corn. And it's definitely not full yet. So I think we're going to have to put it to the side and see if we can find a used combine somewhere. Because this isn't going to be able to do it. And probably set in the barn too long. Let's go check with Grandpa, see what he's got in line that we could use. Well, Grandpa tells me since that pull type combine is as old as it is, he was okay spending the money on getting us a new one. Since it's a Massey Ferguson, it's an open cab. It'll work, do the job. Just went ahead and got the combine or the corn head and the bean head at the same time. So looks like that is what we got to deal with. It's gonna be a lot better than what we were using. Let's fire it up. Seems to be fine on it. Let's see if it can work in the field. Head on down there and get started. When I was a kid, I'd always get to ride with Grandma in the pickup because Dad or Grandpa would be coming behind with the combine and it was so wide, we'd always be the pilot car. One of my childhood memories I do remember. It's kind of fun. Going from one place to the other, especially when we'd go down to the south place. Have to take the highway. It was so wide. You want to go through the timber very well. Alright, let's get this thing fired up and see if it can do better than our last one. Still would like to know what went wrong with the little pull type. Why it started off working fine, as you can tell, it just all of a sudden just quit. Wouldn't go anymore. Lot better. I can practice going strong. Yeah, a lot faster than the last one. 6 miles per hour. 3 times as wide. I was going to miss something with this one. Well, I'll get some of this combine up and come back with you in a little bit. I was just looking at this thing and realized this is a 5-row combine. I have never heard of a 5-row combine, which isn't good. We planted our field with a 6-row corn planter. It will never come out quite right. You know, not completely realistic anyhow, obviously. Going really well. 3,200 liters already. It's almost the way all the way around. Over here, dump what we have in the wagon. Just keep going back and forth. First 10 liters. Oh, there. Hesitated for a minute. I think we'll fill up these little gravity flows real quick. Stuff here in the middle. Keep going. Dad's out helping the field right now. Try to get some corn out of the combine from him. He always helped with Grandpa out on the farm. He did pass away in the late 90s. But up until that point, he took care of helping in the fields, along with, he had his own sawmill business. He was also doing there towards the end. So he's combining. We'll go over here and try to get a rake set up so we can rake some of this corn stalks into a row and bale it for the cattle. We get some bedding for them. I'm going to use a little mini out here and break a couple of the swaths together so we don't have to bale as much. Bale a little faster this way. Almost keep up with Dad in the combine. Might actually be able to go a little faster, it looks like. Makes sense, all we're doing is raking. It'd be nice to have some straw for the cattle off. I don't know if it would let us bale this in the straw or not. It looks like it's right. Get this raked up, some more of this combine, back in a little bit. I'm sure you're thinking, dude, what are you doing? Why are you raking? Why don't you just bale behind the combine? It goes so much quicker. I'm thinking, yeah, I know, but I've already started raking, so I can't stop in the middle of it. We're just going to keep raking until I get bored of it. Then we'll just grab a baler. Old Dad has just about a full combine right now. Here, dump that out, turn it back around. Along really well. We got our first full wagon. We don't go very far to put it in the bin. Stop moving it. Light out of the way. If I hook it up to the baler, it's probably what I'll use to bale with. Or just leave it here for now. Figure out why it doesn't want to unhook. Now, we didn't have a silo quite like this, but we did have an A.O. Smith harvester. Of course, it wasn't used to store much grain in. It was more to make silage out of corn. Silage. We had little gravity flow bins for all the grain storage. I remember having to get out of the tractor and sit there and shake on these wagons trying to get all the corn to fall out. I don't miss doing that. You could sit there and sometimes shake it back and forth in the tractor, and sometimes get the last one out. Back over the field, and get the white hooked up to the baler. It takes a while to make a straw bale. Make our first one. takes to make a second. Remember, these are 2 rows raked together. Percent. Pretty much back to the other end before we get our first one. That'll be 4 rows raked together. I'm not going to cut that tree down too. Got like a meaning to do that. 7/10 of the bale. That's how long the trip will make it, just 1 bale. I don't think we're going to make a whole lot of them. Work good for better. We'll keep making more. Yes, I did decide that it is a lot quicker just to not rake the rows together and just go down each swath. Saves me a lot of time doing this. Back and forth. The rake was raking so slow, that little Minneapolis Moline. I thought just grab the white and do it this way. So that's how we're doing it. We don't have too much field left. We're definitely over halfway because the tree is the halfway point. So it won't be too much longer and we'll have this wrapped up. Then off to the bean field, south place. Well, we're doing our last row here on the cornfield. Didn't do too bad. Got a few straw bales out of it also. Enough to use for bedding for a while at least. Get this dumped off real quick. Go check out the bean field. Well, this is the last of the corn going in the bin. My uncle had to come down to get the combine ready to do beans. Needed some things switched over inside it to be able to do a different crop. So he's coming down to work on that. And then looks like it's late enough at night now that we'll just wait and start off in the morning on the bean field. Here we are in a new day. My uncle was able to get the combine all switched over to do beans. We do need to eventually get new tires on it. These tires are getting kind of weak. As long as the field's not muddy, we shouldn't have any problems. Hasn't rained for a few days, so it should be dry enough back there on the south place. So let's get this thing back there and get started. Hopefully these beans will be dry enough to harvest. Wait a little extra time. Looks like there's still some weeds out there. We got most of the weeds killed off with herbicide. Let's get in and just harvest it up. Hopefully we don't lose too much yield with the weeds that are left. I'll harvest this field and then come back with you at the end. And just when I thought we were done with the baler for the year, got her all washed up last night before we put it away. Now we got soybean straw to come out here and bale. Looks like we're gonna get a lot more straw off it than we got on our corn stalks. Yeah, if we have more straw than we need, we can always sell some of it. We will bale this after we have it. Well, we already got our first 2 Parker wagon fulls of beans. We're dropping those off. Not too many beans left. Shouldn't be too much longer and we should have it wrapped up. Here we are on the last little stretch of beans. We're able to get a lot of bales of straw out of here, probably more than we need. We may not even finish baling this week. I don't think we'll have quite enough here. Yeah, definitely not enough here to fill a full wagon. Besides, that tractor took everything it could to pull 2 of them at a time. Let's finish this little bit. Call it a day. First harvest on Grandpa's farm. If this is your first time joining us, we'd appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future episodes here on Grandpa's farm. If you haven't already, a like would go a long ways for us. Wagon. Welcome in everyone to another episode here on Grandpa's Farm 1980s. Grandpa was just telling me that Dad needed help down at the sawmill, so that's where we're headed. And here we are at the sawmill. Parked up here out of the way. Now Dad really did have a sawmill back in the 1980s. And here are actually some of the photos of it. Now, we didn't have one of these Volvo loaders on the farm. We actually had this Oliver combine that Dad modified into a wheel loader. This is the wheel loader that we used at the sawmill. Now let's get in our wheel loader here and load up some of these logs for Dad to run in the sawmill here. These are spruce logs. That is the main log on this map. On the farm, we mostly had oak, hickory, and maple. Those are the main logs. A lot of the logs we used on the farm were sold to a place in town that turned them into pallet lumber. Well, I guess we turned them into pallet lumber, they turned them into pallets. We just had regular forks on our loader back home. But I wanted to have this hook on it to hold the logs in place, because if not, I knew I'd be dropping. Dad was able to manage with just a regular forks, pallet forks pretty much. They were actually off an old Minneapolis Moline tractor. Alright, let's get these thrown in the sawmill here. There they go. Should be processing. I've got 13,000 liters in there already. Go over here and start turning them into pallet lumber. Wood planks. Perfect. All right. That's going. Now we can go pick up some logs out of that Dad's already got cut up. Dad actually operated the sawmill until he passed away in 1999. He would either run the sawmill or be helping Grandpa in the field. That was his main 2 things he done. I'm not sure where he got the idea of doing a sawmill in real life, but he enjoyed it. get a couple of these logs without overloading it. So I get that to come back. It might stay. It probably won't make it, but we'll try to get it to the sawmill. Oops. Didn't make it very far. We're trying to get this cleared out down here to be able to expand the south place. Have more fields down here. Then get rid of these trees in between so we have more room. I'll run these things back and see you in a little bit. Well, while Dad is working in the sawmill, I think we're going to cut down some of these trees. These logs flowing here. Let's get out and grab the chainsaw and get to work. Well, that was so much easier than in real life. So this will keep us going for a while. These a little shorter so we can get them with the loader. And one more cut. This should definitely be enough to keep Dad busy for a while. And we can get back to the other side of the farm and try to get those bales picked up. Looks like I missed some branches here. Maybe I'm just on a bush. I don't know. Yeah, hopefully that one's short enough. Oop, looks like we already cut that one. Might be our last one to cut up. All right, there we go. Now let's get these, find the loader here somewhere. There it is. Get these 2 logs to the sawmill and then we'll get back to the farm. This Volvo loader is nice, but it's no Oliver combine loader. I don't know where Dad thought of that idea, but it worked, you know? It actually worked really well. You had the big front end on it. It's steered from the back so you can maneuver in the timber really easy. There it is. Stuck in the log there. All right. Let's get this thing parked. hop in the pickup and get back to the farm. Well, we got one load of straw off our cornfield. Let's run it up here. Grandpa tells me the neighbor has an old hay grinder for sale that he went ahead and purchased. So we're going to run up the road and pick it up. This tractor here and run over and get in our pickup. It's actually the same neighbor we just bought the bull from. So Grandpa was able to get a good deal. Guess the more business you give him, the better prices he give you on other things. It's not too awful old, he said. We just needed to grind up the straw until we actually have silage. We might, next year, maybe we'll chop the corn, turn it into silage. Looks like here it is out back. We really did have one of these back in the 80s. It was a little, it had a conveyor belt coming off the side, and it would grind up the straw bales. Hopefully Grandpa has another PTO shaft laying around, because it looks like we're going to tear this one up. Kind of drags on the ground quite a bit. Yeah, it's all up in the ground. Oh well, let's get back to the house and get this thing started and get some bedding for the cattle. Grab the 2110. Hook the baler because we're done with it for a while. Go pick up a straw bale. Hopefully that tub grinder works right. Not sure how long he sat with it, but I know he used to feed the bulls with it, so it can't be too bad. He got rid of all of his bulls, so I don't know what we're going to do when we need another one. I kind of put those a little closer to the hay bales. Oop, come on, come on. Just one, please. There, we don't have it very good, but we have it. I don't know if I can do this without running over all the hay bales. There we go. I'll get a few more of these and then we'll go spread this in the pen. Well, this one allowed me to put 3 bales in it. You know, Grandpa's, back in the 80s, we could only put 1 in at a time. There we go. Oh, it's like the PTO shaft still don't look right. How it goes to the frame of the trailer. Oh well, as long as it turns on. Some bedding here, then we can be able to get some manure out of it. Maybe to spread manure in the field across the road. They're not running up here for the straw like they would everything else. Give them a hay bale, they'll go crazy. Well, we'll go back and get the rest of our bales out of the fields. Well, we got our last load of bales off the bean field. I think we had a total of 40 bales between the 2 fields. That should definitely get us through winter and probably all of next year also. So we just use it for bedding. We'll get these off and then go check with Dad and see how things are coming at the sawmill. I think we'll go ahead and help Dad out by loading another round or two of logs on into the sawmill. I'm gonna park over here so I don't hit ourselves. Let's see. Still got 13,000 liters in there, but we'll put some more in. Let's see if I can remember the controls on this. There. Still has all those logs that we cut down forming the timber we need to go get later, but if I can do this without flipping it over. Starting to spin a little bit. Logs must have a little bit of weight to them. Go. Well, that should do it for this episode here on Grandpa's Farm. We sure appreciate you spending some time with us. And if you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes here on Grandpa's Farm. Until next time, have a blessed day, and bye-bye.